Hey everybody, welcome back to Whiskey Book. We are continuing our journey on the journey. What's our journey on the journey? What 5 whiskeys would we take if we were part of the Fellowship of the Ring? This is the part 2 of what 5 whiskeys. I know there's something with Reddit, there's something with all the other whiskey channels out there. I don't do things any way but my way usually, but I always do, even before this Reddit thing came out, I always have had what 5 of this would I take if I had to run out of my house and go somewhere. What 5 of this, what 5 of that. It's always 5. 5 is a good round number. But if we went on the Fellowship, if Gandalf came knocking at our door and said, you need to come along with us, or the ring race came and chased us out of the house, is more like with the Lord of the Rings. We're out of the Hobbit, we're in the Lord of the Rings. I know that. And we're going on this Fellowship, and we make it to Rivendell, and the group is put together, and we're going to go destroy the ring, and our packs are small, and we sacrifice food already to have whiskey. What 5 whiskeys would we have? So if you weren't here before, the first 3 are already set. It's Redbreast 12, it's Wild Turkey Rare Breed, the bourbon, or the straight whiskey. They have a rye that's really good, but that one didn't quite make it. And the last one is Eagle Rare. And Eagle Rare is probably my favorite of the group, but it's getting so rare that by the end of this we may have to have a part where we put something in its place too, because I can't find it to take it on the journey with us. But anyway, so those 3 are set. Last week we did a blind with 5 round 90 proofers, and the Woodford Reserve Double Oak won that blind. Now that doesn't mean it gets to go with us. That means it's going to be set in the tournament at the end, where we'll have a face-off in the end for the last 2 spots. So what do we have today? Well, today's a pretty good one. Today we have Weller Special Reserve. It's the only wheater I have in the group. This is 90 proof out of Sazerac. I have 3 out of Sazerac today, the Sazerac company. This is a Buffalo Trace distillate, 90 proof, about $32 to $38 in my area when I can find it. Not bad for a Weller. I usually get it for retail. It's just hard to find, but lately it's been easier to find than Eagle Rare. So second up, now this was the one that I started the channel with, and it's been in some blinds, but hey, this is about the 5 that I would take with me. So we're not leaving any out. This is 1792 small batch, 93.7 proof, again out of Sazerac. It's out of the 1792 Barton Distillery, or Barton 1792 Distillery. It's about $28 to $35 in my area, give or take. Not too bad. It's good stuff for the price. So both of those are on the low end, and I guess we might as well stick on the low end, and I didn't want to do it. Last week I put in Blanton's. This week, I put in Buffalo Trace. 90 proof, around $28 in my area. I'm finding this more and more. Again, out of Sazerac, the Buffalo Trace Distillery out of Sazerac. You can't have a blind without Buffalo Trace somewhere. It's illegal. It's written. It is the way. Oh, we're not doing that one. We are doing, again, Lord of the Rings by J.R.R. Tolkien. That is the book that we're on. I don't need to review the book. We've gone into it a little bit last time. If you don't know Lord of the Rings, if you haven't watched the movies or read the books or know the story, I highly suggest you get into that. Just watch the movies. It's close and it's really good. Okay, next up, now this one, boom, from Wild Turkey, Russell's 10-year. This is a 10-year 90 proof whiskey. Online they say it's about $35. Yeah, BS. I'm finding it $44 to $48. it's finding its way closer to the rare breed pricing. I think 46 was the last I paid for this, and it's good. I compared a lot to Blanton's. Blanton's is about still $20 more when I can find it, but Russell's 10 is good. It's just got lighter notes. It's a really, really good daily sipper, and hey, we're going to need a daily sipper on this trek. We're going. They all can't be hitters, and need different flavors. And the Russell's Reserve, if you're not feeling like something that just absolutely smacks you in the face, it's really good. Now, none of these I've had in a long time, so this will be fun. And the last one, this is kind of the wild card. This is Angel's Envy, Kentucky straight bourbon finished in port wine barrels. It's distilled somewhere in Kentucky. It doesn't really say. 86.6 proof. It's the lowest proof one here. It is by far the most expensive. When I first started seeing this in my area, it was around 60. It's getting closer in the 70, 80 range. And if you find the Angel's Envy Rye, it's right up to $100. And we're talking about something under 90 proof. Be a hard one to take, but hey, if it wins this, it's in. And so in front of me, I have 5 glasses. I have no idea which one is in which. Last week we had 1910 and Woodford Double Oaked. And 1910 and Woodford Double Oak, they kind of had a similar color to them, and they kind of stood out. And they're very sweet, very chocolatey, very fudgy. Not chocolatey, more fudgy and mapley. These ones I don't know. They're very, very similar color. This one's lighter. These two on the left are darker. I don't know which is which. Again, my lovely wife poured them. And so we're going to see who gets to go up against Woodford Reserve Double Oaked, and then in the future I think next time we'll do 100 proof, and after that we'll get up into higher proof, and then we shall start the brackets. Don't have brackets yet. We're just finding who gets in the tournament now. I know it's after March. I'm late on that. Anyway, first one. Let's do the nose first. First one, very bourbon, very caramel, very vanilla. Very red berry. That one is bourbon. It's bourbony bourbon. Oh, it just has a nice, like, this one I could see if we're going on our trip and we're watching, Boromir teach our friend hobbits how to use stick swords and fight, and we're sitting back and just resting from a long day of trek. I can see this one. Yeah, that one is very caramel, very vanilla, very just your bourbon flavors. So, all right, let's go to number 2. Okay, right off the nose, whereas this one has caramel, vanilla, smack you in the, like, just right there, punch you. This one comes in lighter. This one, if this one, my first one is a flood, this is a light stream. More, I want to say pepper, but there's some baking spice, light honey, light vanilla. It's really pleasant on the nose. It's going to be weird to describe it this way, but if it was sound, one would be kind of not hard rock, but a 80s rock band. 2 would be mellow, and then I just got a little bit of some sort of nut on the when I went back to it, and it sort of lost that mellow, jazzy sounding smell. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, 3, definitely more baking spice, berry, honey, vanilla. That's pleasant too. I'm gonna go 2, 3 here, just real quick. Okay, so 2 and 3, whereas 2 was a light stream and light jazz, 3 isn't quite the raging flood that 1 is, but it's a river. It's a creek that you can fish out of. It's got some stuff. It's also got some hay, and I mean real hay smell to it. That's pretty cool. Okay, 4. Okay, we are back to bourbon, more like the caramel, but this is very, very berry forward. With holy cow. Okay, tobacco on the edges, and not cigarette tobacco. Sometimes I get burnt cigarette tobacco. This is cigar. This is somebody's lit a cigar. They've taken a puff. They've set it in the tray. Don't call it an ashtray. The cigar tray, and you're getting that smell as it's just sitting there, right on the edges. Wow, I don't have it here, but that sort of reminds me of a Joseph Magnus on the edges, but the middle's all berry. It's like red berry mixed a little bit of a mango-ish date, maybe more of a date. Definitely getting the tobacco on it. Oh, that one's interesting. I'm liking 4 right now. It's just got a little different punch to it. And then we're going to 5, and 5 is completely different. 5 is toffee. Very, very vanilla. Very vanilla. Okay, gonna pull these out. 5 is one of these little candies right here. Little vanilla or toffee, maybe butter rum. Yeah. No, it's not butter rum. It's more of a butterscotch. Oh, that's interesting. That's a smell I haven't got. I don't know. Like I said, a couple of these I haven't had in a long time. That is really interesting. I like that one. Okay. Let's not delay. Let's go into this. Let's see who's going to go forth and become part of our journey. Okay, now I go back to 1, and I'm getting peanut on number 1. That's so weird how you get different smells. Okay. Right off the bat, just vanilla. Little bit of viscosity. Yeah, I'm not seeing. It's hard to tell on the camera. I know. I'm looking at it. I'd say medium to low legs on that. Viscosity is not the greatest. I'm a big fan of viscosity. The initial is vanilla, light caramel, but more vanilla, and barrel, and that's about it. There's a little baking spice, and the finish is. It's the barrel, it's the vanilla, it's the same thing from the front to the back. It's good. I like it. I don't know. You're not going to get a whole lot out of that. This is just, I can see just sitting down and having that and that's just that bourbon or whiskey you want to have. If you don't really want to think about it a lot, it's just there. It's still good, very good, but maybe when we go back to it, it'll give me some more. Okay, number 2. Here's the light jazz. Still getting that peanut, or not the peanut, the nut, the macadamia nut. That's what it is. Wow. Coming off of 1, that took a little bit to get any flavor off of that. It was so light. Light honey. That's what I would describe. Usually I get the honey on the nose, not on the palate. That was like light honey, bready, like white bread. No crust. White bread, no crust with light honey. Maybe like you very, very thin spread of peanut butter with honey over the top on white bread. That's what that was. Trying to find the finish. It's there. But it's so light at the beginning that the finish, it's just there. It doesn't do anything. It's not going away super fast, which is good. But it's just like this light honey vanilla, not even vanilla, honey on the bread with a touch, we're talking the slightest peanut butter on the back of the throat. And that's not bad. It's not bad. It's you can sit there and have that. That's okay. All right, on to number 3. Oh, here we go. 3 is a like after you go from 2 to 3, it's like slap you in the face. We're we're back to whiskey. 2, I would swear, if I had it on the table, I would guess that's like a Basil Hayden. That it's good, but so light. This one, baking spice. Not getting the tobacco, I'm getting just deep, rich caramel, vanilla, baking spice, a little orange peel. That's what I'm getting. And a little bit of orange peel on that. I thought it was red berry before, but no, it's changed. It's after having these, it's now orange peel. Oh, I like that. I don't know which one just did that to me, but I like that. None of these are super viscous. This one has a little better legs than one, but that was toasted honey. That is, you toast the bread, put some butter on it. It's still hot. You put the honey on it, and you get that it's a richer honey flavor with a little bit of vanilla. But at first, it's got like a baking, spicy, rich, deeper flavor that hits you right on the tongue, and it kind of just rolls to the back. I'm digging this one. Yeah, I like that. Got a little barrel mixed in with the caramel is what I think that is, if you want to be technical about it. But it's a richer, whereas 2 was light honey, 3 is dark toasted honey with maybe cinnamon on it. This is, they lost so this is the bread without the peanut butter. Maybe it's a wheat bread. This is honey with cinnamon and sugar mixed over it. Brown sugar, cinnamon and brown sugar. I don't even know if you do that, but that's what that is. Good. Now this one is fruity, fruity, fruity. This is Fruit Loops. This is Fruit Loops in milk that's been sitting for a little bit. Like, you don't want to eat the Fruit Loops because they're soggy, but you still get the fruity smell. More red berry, but it's hard to describe, but the yellow Fruit Loops. But let's try it. Okay. I do think I know which one this is, and I could be completely wrong. Feels like you've smoked something, a cigar. It feels like you smoked a cigar, and now you're left with that aftertaste, and you drink stale water with it. That's what I'm getting on that one. Okay, number 5. Let's see if we can. Ooh, much better. Vanilla. It's spikier vanilla. It's butterscotch. There's caramel way down in there. Rich caramel, but you'd think rich caramel would come right to the top. It's way down in there. You got to reach for it, but once you get to it, it's like, oh wow, that's really good. A little bit red berry there too, and a little bit of that. And get this on Woodford Reserve Double Oak. I think I said it last time. A little bit of a grease smell to it, and that. It's got some sharp edges to it. Number 5 has some sharp edges. That is spiky. And I don't mean proofy. I mean spiky. And spiky is probably a good term for woody. Very barrel char-ish. This one tastes like you burnt the wood and then licked it after you put it out with water. Like it's soaked and you have that black wood and you just licked it. There's caramel there, there's vanilla there, there's some good flavors, but then on the back of the tongue is like, yeah, I licked burnt wood. Oh, it's got a really good like initial palate hit though. I'll give it that. It's like caramel, vanilla, toffee, buttered bread, like in this tight ball that just hits the middle of your tongue right off the bat, and you get it for like a second and a half. And then it goes into this barrel thing that I don't like. If it could stay with the buttered bread, and there's a lot of bready ones here, but this one doesn't have the honey on it. This one doesn't have the peanut butter on it. This is just white bread with a little too much butter on it. So you're getting that butter taste that with the bread. Again, second drink was much, much better, but still not my fave. All right, I'm going to go back through real quick, and I will have a winner. 2 stood up a little bit better that time. 2 was kind of the softy of the bunch. Like that one, I don't know why. Everything else sort of, more drinks you have sort of mellows. 2 that time stood up and said, no, I'm good. I like 2. I thought 3 was going to be the clear winner, but I'm kind of, you go back and you get different things, and I'm kind of digging 2. We are down to the final 3 of this set. I'm taking my time because I can't decide. Anyway, so one last time. 1, 2, and 3 are in. 4 and 5 are out. 3. Bourbon with honey, little hay, little on the hay side. 2. 2. 2 is started out so light, yet 2 stands up after having all these better than the others. Every time I go back to 2, it gives me something different. Now it's more, it's like dark chocolate. It's like the Easter Bunny came and threw some chocolate in that glass. It's completely like the first time I did it, it was so light honey. Now there's a little bit of chocolate mixed in there. Because we have 2 to find for our journey, we may have a loser's bracket at the end. I have a feeling 1910 needs to be in there, and whatever 1 is may need to be in there too, because I just have to 2's the winner. It just, every time I go back, there's something else to give. It started out just lighter, doesn't punch you in the face. It just kind of, like I said, wants to give you a hug, and then as you keep going, it just gives you more, and it's just, it's so much more. 1 is very, very just bourbon and really, really good. Very caramel, very vanilla, very kind of, it's a deeper flavor. It's a richer is probably a better, it's a richer flavor. But 2 is just a little more complex. So that's where we're going, I think. So what's last place? Last place is number 4, which is bottle C. What is C? I thought I had it. Buffalo Trace. I'm sorry to all the people who love Buffalo Trace. I have not been able to, we're going to start, I need to set these where we can kind of, there we go. Closest to me is last place. Closest to you, giving you my love. Buffalo Trace has a really good nose, a really good palate. The finish just, kills it for me. Once we found one of the big bottles of that, I couldn't give the stuff away. Nobody in the family wanted to drink it. It's people say Wild Turkey has a funk. I think Buffalo Trace, the regular, has its own funk. All right. I'm going to push these. Okay. Fourth place. Number 4. Fourth place is D. I think I know what that one is too. No, I don't know what that one is. D is, holy cow. D is Weller Special Reserve. Oh, the 2 Buffalo Trace products coming in the last. Not sure if that's a good thing or not, but doesn't super surprise me. When I first got Weller Special Reserve, I was like, why do people want Weller? And I know it's their bottom offering, their lowest offering. Haven't ever been a huge fan of it, so not a big surprise for me. Not a big surprise. All right. Third place is number 3, which is A. And you'd think I'd remember these? Yep, A. 1792. 1792 is good stuff. It really is. Again, I started the channel with it for the price. It's just really, really good. But it always comes in about this, like right in the middle. It's good. It's just not great. But okay. Number 2 is B. I mean, holy cow. All right. This is going to shock. So Russell's 10 is in second place, which absolutely, okay, this is a surprise to me because that means number one, bottle E, Angel's Envy, the one that I love to hate because I can't understand when I drink it by itself why it's so much money for what it is. I can't believe it won. It's in the bracket. It was a close fight with Russell's 10, which I actually thought Russell's 10 was number 2 because Russell's 10 is usually a little bit lighter. I am surprised Russell's 10 was kind of the standout, more punch you in the face flavors, along with 1792 this time. But that's what it is. Angel's Envy for the win. Angel's Envy moves on into the bracket. It will go up against Woodford's Reserve Double Oaked, along with some other things, to try to get onto the Fellowship of the Whiskeys. The Fellowship of the Whiskey Book. So again, thank you for watching. Whiskey Book will be back in the future with some more episodes, and thanks for sticking with me.